going on, everybody? I'm the Entertainist, and welcome back. I have my buddy TJ, who you have seen from my Fall Guys videos. He was in an episode of Mr. Dope, and he's here today, and we're going to review Zack Snyder's Justice League. We both literally just got done watching it, and we're going to do a spoiler review. Before I want to talk about spoilers, I kind of just want to give, an overall opinion. And I gotta say, not impressed. No, I'm kidding. No, no. I knew I was gonna love it, and I did, and it fucking blew me away. I think every moment was strong, and it hit all the right beats. And Zack Snyder directed the fuck out of the film. Everyone brought their A game. I didn't realize, and I thought this in my head a lot. I was like, I didn't realize how much of Zack Snyder's stuff is in the original movie. And the thing is, it's in there, but they scrapped it.
There wasn't a lot.
There's when Wonder Woman was stopping that bank robbery, and then
Yeah.
even some parts in the final fight against Steppenwolf. And I don't know, there's a lot of things, and it was done differently. And the entire time I'm thinking, I'm like, how is this not the movie that was made originally? They really scrapped it and just wanted to make it a fun popcorn flick. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
And you and me both, we both said, we don't mind the original version. I'm like,
I thought it was a decent movie.
It's not bad, but. And then you watch this and you're like, holy fuck, how is this not it? This is that is seriously
that
I was blown away.
I want to talk about the end scene real quick.
Okay. All right, we're getting into
Jared
spoilers
Leto.
now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get into spoilers.
Jared Leto.
Awesome.
Did fucking
I loved
awesome.
It.
I like how they faked us out in the trailer too, with the whole we live in a society.
That's something that he
ad-libbed it.
Yeah, right, because that was a whole meme thing last year when the Joker movie came out, or 2 years ago. And I like that they put that in there. But no, he acted like the Joker character. And like I said, whatever happened, Suicide Squad with that character, that's not Jared Leto's fault. I didn't love him. I didn't love the portrayal, but it was how that character was written. I'm like, that's not the character of the Joker. This was the character of the Joker. Everything he said to Batman, and I love how he acted, and I like that he brought something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joker, I loved what they did with Joker, and another thing I loved was because it was the end credit scene in the Whedon version with Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. And there was a lot more to that in that scene.
There was more dialogue to it.
Every scene that was in the original movie had way more of an impact in this version.
Yeah.
And I
like how he cut Luther's line, shouldn't we have a league of our own? I'm kind of glad he cut that line.
It's cheesy. It's I don't know, too corny.
Yeah.
And I think, one thing that I definitely want to bring up, and this is something that I've heard a lot about, I can't believe how underutilized Cyborg was in the original.
Oh, he was my favorite part of the movie.
He literally is the heart of that movie, because I didn't really care for him. It's not that I disliked him, but I didn't care for him in the original cut, because I'm like, okay, he's upset, he's a cyborg, and he's just pissed off the entire time. It doesn't have much to do. Then they show you all the fucking reasons in this one.
Yeah. This was the true definition of character development.
Exactly.
He did it so good.
Yeah.
It's something that Whedon didn't. He just wanted to get straight to the fucking point where it was he wanted to get to the fight with Steppenwolf. I feel like he rushed it too much, and I mean it wasn't really. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't. I mean, obviously Whedon was part of it.
It's Warner Brothers' fault.
WB
was like, no, you're gonna do it this way. We want people to stay. And the thing is, it's such a backlash because they made a movie we want to keep entertained, and it's a superhero movie, so we want kids to be entertained the entire time. And it's well, no one liked it.
Right.
not many people liked it at all. And yeah, I mean, they screwed over Zack Snyder. I know Zack Snyder, like, his Man of Steel wasn't really a flop, but I know it didn't have like the highest praises, and then no one really liked Batman versus Superman either. And a mix of that is exactly right. A mix of that is Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers, because then in the Ultimate Edition, which is literally just extended, it's 30 minutes longer, but it doesn't make it a perfect movie, but it definitely added more to it. It definitely gave more reason as to why some of the things happen. And I'm glad Zack Snyder was able to do this and was kind of like big fuck you to Warner Brothers, and hopefully and I think, and yeah, since there was kind of a cliffhanger, like definitely a setup for a sequel. Hopefully we can get more.
I hope so too. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I know.
Honestly, it really sucks to say that, because it was such a good movie, and it was the ending, dude. Okay, so the Martian spoilers, the Martian Manhunter cameo. I like how he was Martha when he was talking to Lois.
Yeah.
And then
it made it seem like he was a villain at first. I was like, I don't know that character.
Well, so it was cool, and they didn't really portray him like one when he showed up too, because when he left the room, he like transformed back into Martian Manhunter, and he was like, the world needs you too, Lois. Like, so I feel like he I don't know much about his character either. You know, I was never like big into the comics. I can't really tell you much about him.
Yeah, same.
But I mean, from the way they portrayed him, he wanted to help. Obviously, he was telling Bruce the same thing at the end. You know, he wants to help. And see, that's what sucks about it, is that we're not going to be able to see.
And you know what? Because all we could do is that. And then all these speculations, because, dude, this whole, like, and I was wondering, when it got to the end, I was like, where's this nightmare scene that with the Joker and Deathstroke? And the thing is, that if there's more to this story, and there is in Zack Snyder's head that we might never see, but these little nightmare scenes are all just like little pieces of a puzzle that are forming together in this whole universe that we might never come, unfortunately.
But, well, see, he did say that he had a trilogy planned for the Justice League movies, and the second one was going to take place entirely in the nightmare.
That would have been awesome.
So
an evil Superman. I was like, bro, I want to see this like be executed.
For real. And I love the fucking man. I loved that line that Batman said to Joker, where he was talking about Harley and like when she died, and then he told Joker, he's like, I will fucking kill you. I was like,
that is a problem. because the whole nightmare is the alternate timeline of if they lost, and and like that's why the villains and heroes come together to fight something greater, and Superman becomes evil. And
that was super weird seeing Slade.
It's a backwards ass world.
Did they get Amber Heard back to film that scene?
I assume they did. I'm not sure.
I'm not a fan of that, but
yeah,
you know.
And Aquaman died in that. Aquaman. Died. That's why I'm like, bro, I want to see a nightmare movie.
Bro, and see, you want to know what else makes so much more sense now? Is that, remember in Batman v Superman, he was seeing when he talked about it in the movie,
and Flash is wearing the suit.
He's like, Lois is the key. That was the fucking scene, dude, and it makes so much more sense now. I don't know why they wouldn't put that in the movie in the first place.
Yeah.
You know? Because it just it clarifies so much, like all these questions that people had about the Snyder Cut, like why was he seeing Flash like that? You know, why did he see Aquaman like that?
Because there's this alternate timeline. And he's going to warn Bruce before the fight, even before before the Justice League's even formed. Like, yo, Lois is the key, and it makes sense because you see evil Superman. It's like Lois is the fucking key, dude. And now look at Superman in this world, and damn, it just sucks, you know. And I was thinking, I was like, when I heard this was 4 hours, I was like, I bet it's because I knew there was going to be a Justice League 1 and Justice League 2. I'm like, I bet it's just both those movies mashed together. I'm like, oh no, this is literally just one big movie.
And see, the 4-hour runtime wasn't bad.
No,
everybody
and it
was
paced
saying
well. Didn't feel like 4 hours.
It didn't. It flew by because it was so good. I wasn't getting bored with it. You know what I mean?
I took a couple, like, I took a bathroom break. I took a break to go get, like, something to drink and something to eat.
Oh, I sat down all 4 hours and watched the whole fucking thing.
But when I was pausing and seeing where I was at, like, when I paused, I was like, there's 1 hour left? What?
Yeah, dude. And I like what he did, too, man. Like, part 1 and then part 2.
It felt like a Tarantino movie, like, with the little chapters. And I like that because they didn't really do this in the Whedon cut. I mean, they hinted with some stuff, but I like that what happened with Superman and Batman versus Superman when he died is the reason why Steppenwolf even existed. And Steppenwolf felt like you can buy him as to what he's doing. Because before he's just, I'm the big bad guy in the Whedon version. In this, it's like, oh no, in his world, he's the underdog and he's in a lot of trouble with where he comes from. So, like, yeah, okay, he's the villain, but he's doing what he thinks is right. That's what I love. Like, that's like what I love about.
He was trying to redeem himself.
Yeah, when you can understand where they're coming from. Same with
and they didn't.
Same with, like, Thanos. And, like, you know, when he thinks he's doing the right thing by doing that. And then, I forgot his name, the guy from Black Panther.
They're giving the character more depth.
Yeah. You don't root for them, but you understand. Right.
Exactly.
And when they make a point, like, Heath Ledger is the Joker. Yeah, I mean, it's that's like when you have to utilize a villain, and every character was utilized to the fullest extent. At first, I felt like Aquaman was I was like, they're not doing a lot with Aquaman. Once it got to the fight scenes, I was like, okay, now they're doing more of him. When he stabs the trident through fucking Steppenwolf at the end,
dude. And he threw it. He got that. I was like double kill. He like put him like right through. Through the wall. You remember that scene where he like threw the trident and threw both of them? Yeah, that was
every time.
The whole fight scene was really good.
It was really, and a lot of it was used in the Whedon cut, except I just like how it looked too. It like looked darker and more fucked up, and I kept laughing. One part, at first I was like, I don't know if this is a flaw. It's just something that I've noticed and kind of giggled at the more I notice it. Anytime Wonder Woman would do anything, there was that music. Anytime she I was like, oh, here we go again. And at first I wasn't feeling the whole full screen. I understand why, like, it's not a flaw. This isn't a flaw by any means. I understand because they filmed it on IMAX cameras. And IMAX are tall screens. They're full screen. They're not wide.
And they had that little disclaimer before the movie started. Like, this was shot like this for like
32 MB, something like that. And at first I was like, this is weird. And then you forget that those like bars are even there, like halfway through the movie.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, honestly, this is a movie that I'm not even gonna give a grade because this is Zack Snyder's passion project. So, like, I really don't have any negatives about it at all because it was just the movie that he deserved to make and everyone deserved to see, and, you know, the studio just had to be dickheads about it.
Yeah.
And even the actors, all the, like, Henry Cavill, like, and a lot, and Jason
Fisher
Momoa.
too.
Yeah.
Ray Fisher went through like there was like a whole lawsuit or some shit that he went through or something.
Well, unfortunately, if there is going to be more, he's not going to be back.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and that sucks because he was the best fucking character in that movie. Another great character was Flash. Flash cracked me up in, like, almost every scene. He's the funniest fucking character. I like when he saves that girl and he, like, looks at the hot dog and he just grabs it, snags it. Yeah. And then, like, he was like, so I start on Monday?
That was Iris West.
Who?
Iris West. That's his love interest. She's coming back to reprise that role for the Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
So,
see, you know what they should do? Because the Flashpoint, this is where this would work, and I doubt they're going to do it. And they also they have to go off source material because if not, they're going to piss off all the comic fans. But in the Flashpoint movie, since that's alternate timeline, they should continue the Nightmare stuff in there because that is alternate. But I mean, They'll do what they'll do. I'm sure it's gonna be a great movie because that's supposed to be like that's one of the like most popular DC stories is the Flashpoint.
I mean, everybody's coming back for it, so
Yeah,
you know,
dude. Yeah, well,
it's a shame. You know, it really is what could have been. You
yeah.
know,
This literally like yeah would have been like, and I'm not trying to play the compare game, but it would have been a top competitor for Marvel. And I love Marvel. I love Marvel, but this would have been like I don't think people would be arguing. Everyone would be like they're both fucking great. But no, and like you get these shitty movies and everyone's like,
yeah,
"Yeah, well, DC sucks."
yeah,
And it's not the characters' faults. It's not the actors or the directors or the I mean, it's some of the writers, but I mean, it's the studio at the end of the day.
yeah.
And then they
And
just
see,
want to throw shit everywhere.
right, and I'm gonna make a bold statement here, and I'm gonna say that this was DC's best movie,
By far.
like hands down. And I love Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman was so good, and
I
Aquaman
agree.
was too.
But this was
But
the best
yeah,
they're all their separate stories in the movie, and then
mhm,
how you in the Whedon cut, it like I said, the Whedon cut is literally a trailer for this movie. If you think about it, it's just a trailer
yeah,
for this movie, and then this movie shows you everything and gives you full in depth. So if you watch the Whedon version, you're like seeing some cool fight scenes here and there, and Batman says something funny, and then like or Flash says something funny, and Batman does some cool shit, and then they get together and they fight. And
yeah,
then in this, you get to know where everyone's coming from. You care about all of them, and then when they come together, you fall for it more. I
right,
did. Like that final shot before it said epilogue where it shows all of them. I'm like nodding my head,
yeah,
like, dude, this was fucking amazing. Because that's
yeah,
how it wanted you to feel. That's what I mean. Like Zack Snyder hit all the fucking beats correctly, and like I haven't made any films, but as someone who likes to write and stuff and create stories, like I can like I was like, dude, I could tell this was his fucking passion project. This was
yeah.
his baby.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah. I mean, if we don't see more, which we probably won't, then we won't. But hey, we got something that we never thought we'd ever get because
yeah,
no one thought this
yeah.
was ever gonna
Oh
come
no
out.
way.
And
Yeah, and I'm glad it did. I really am
yeah,
because, like I said, dude, this. I mean, this is up there with. I mean, I don't know if I want to say it's up there with Dark Knight, but
I don't know about that, but it's definitely up there with Avengers. At least
oh yeah, yeah, I think
at
so.
least the
I
first
definitely
Avengers, as far as a story of heroes coming together, it's and
yeah,
I mean I'm not gonna compare. I'm not gonna decide right now which one I like better because I just
right.
watched this one, so I'm still in like full effect of how I feel
Oh
about
yeah,
this. But I mean it, yeah. This movie is definitely the it's definitely the norm of like when people to talk shit about DC. Like if people want to talk shit about DC, I'm gonna be like, go watch Snyder Cut, and
yeah,
then come back to me.
mhm,
And then there's other DC movies or DC extended universe movies. I'm not counting Joker, Dark Knight. Like there's Wonder Woman, there's Birds of Prey, there's Man of Steel.
Birds of Prey was really good.
I like all those movies, and they're fine. But the thing is, Warner Brothers just wants to throw these movies. It's not like Marvel where there's a structured story in all the
They're trying
movies.
to compete with them.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're just throwing shit out there. Like, all right, we just did Batman vs Superman. Okay, Suicide Squad. After that, oh shit, Justice League. All right, now Harley Quinn's movie. And like,
Yeah,
it's jumbled. It's fine. They're good movies, but I don't know. There's no cohesive story altogether, and
right.
that's where they falter.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I agree. You see, we haven't really talked about Darkseid yet either.
I expected
Darkseid.
more.
I mean, I
But
did too in a way.
they set him up to be the villain in the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's how it ended with them.
Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, they're looking for that. What was that? The life equation. Is that what they were calling it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, we didn't know anything about that in the Whedon cut.
No, we didn't.
This life equation. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
There's way more
You
to
know.
it. Yeah.
And Black Suit Superman, don't get me fucking started on that. That was badass.
It was
His whole fucking takeoff scene where he's like,
and
he's sitting there and all the gravel's like up against, and then he just takes off. It was really good, man.
And the scene when and I literally said it out loud, the scene when he came back, when they brought him back to life, I was like, this is a fucking introduction. I'm in the Whedon cut, I was like, oh, he's back. That's cool. In this one, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, he's back. And then the whole scene where he's like trying to remember who he is, like that was I actually really like that scene in the Whedon cut because it is it's just a well-written scene, but it was done. It felt happier toned in that one. This one, it felt like stakes were high and like, you know, I don't know, you're kind of like nervous with everything, and like he's like throwing Flash at Aquaman, and you know what? And I did laugh at this scene in the Whedon cut, and I'm glad they scrapped in this. When he grabs Batman, he's like, "Do you bleed?" And then Batman's like, "Yep, something's bleeding." I'm glad that it was when him and Batman got face to face, it was more serious because it should be because that's a very serious relationship in this world. Batman, Superman. Yeah.
And the ending when like Bruce was climbing out of the tower or whatever it was.
And he helps him up and like pats him on the back. And then they do the fist bump still, Cyborg and Flash.
This movie, man, it was fantastic. It was probably one of my favorite movies I've seen in a while.
I'm glad that we're getting all these movies this year because I like to do top 10 like movies of this year. And I think this is definitely number one, and I'm excited. I mean, yeah, I know, but I'm excited for, you know, we got Godzilla vs. Kong in a couple weeks. We have Suicide Squad in August and Spider-Man 3. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to all of those. But I was just like, because of the reputation of this movie, I don't see much exceeding it. And it's because of that. It's not because those movies are going to be worse than this. It's because, I don't know, this was such a hype and it lived up to it. Because then you still had the naysayers like, oh, well, it's just going to be extended version of a shitty movie. You can't polish shit and make it's still shit. I'm like, get out of here.
It was a totally different movie.
It wasn't an extended cut. It was
right.
There was like maybe 5 scenes that were in the original one.
I think they said out of like the 4 hours that we got, like a half hour was
I know because I just watched the Whedon cut like a couple months ago, so I know what I'm in for this and like see what was taken out, what's done differently. It was the scene where he meets Aquaman, Wonder Woman stopping that bank robbery, when Bruce Wayne meets the Flash, and then some scenes in the fight, the final fight with Steppenwolf, and and the thing is that I feel like all those scenes had a lot more impact because of what this movie had to offer. Like they were fine in the original, but like I don't know, I mean you cared more because just the feeling of the movie just literally made you feel like that. How the movie wanted you to make you feel, I've definitely made you feel that way. That's how that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it did.
Also, another reason why I'm not grading is because I just don't think 5 out of 5 stars is enough.
You know, I agree. Yeah. I mean,
it's fucking amazing.
It was, and it was definitely worth the wait. I'll tell you that. You know,
but you know, I mean, I won't expect it, but I won't lose hope to maybe hear one day Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 in production.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
you got all these hashtags going around like restore the Snyder Cut now,
dude. You know what I love about everything that's going on with this? Like, people have a voice. People had a voice, and Zack Snyder said like this one, like you guys are thanking me, but this one exists if it weren't for you guys, and like that's honestly the truth. Because if nobody made this movement, he wouldn't have done it. He's like, well, no one wants to see it, so I mean, but no, everyone wanted to see it. And then just
this all happened after Sonic looked like shit in
the trailer. I was just about to bring that up. I was like, dude, like everyone has a voice, and that's what I like. Like you can't just like let like, you know, movie studios have to remember they're making movies to appeal audiences. They can't get their money if people don't like what they're making.
Right.
And like don't see it at all. So, you know, you have to please people.
Yeah.
I don't know, you have to make what people want to see. You can't just like, and you know, when it comes to superhero movies, okay, well, The Dark Knight is one of the biggest fucking movies of all time. Not a children's movie. And look at how favored that is, and kids still like it. I was 12 years old when that movie came out, and I fucking loved it. And that's what I mean. I was like, I don't know why they're trying to there's like a mix of that, like we need to appeal to family friendly orientation, and then there's also, well, Disney did it this way, let's try to, you know, copy and paste that. And it's like, they literally grabbed the director of the first Avengers to fucking like steer Zack Snyder away.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, fucking great. All right, well, I don't know if there's anything else left to cover. I mean, I could, at this point, I'd be going in circles, and I'm fine with that. But I think we got a majority of everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah.
Unless there's
that
anything.
Opening scene, real quick.
Yeah, if anything you want to cover, go for it.
You know, that opening scene was so good. I like how it started off with
Superman the scene screaming, just as Warner Brothers presents. I'm like, oh, we're getting into this.
Yeah.
We don't have it.
And then the sound waves, like his like dying breath, you know, and then you get all the sound waves, and it like
his mouth doesn't look fucked up.
Huh?
His mouth doesn't look fucked up. No CGI
for real. And that's what I was looking for the whole fucking time. I was like, nope. And I do gotta say, I really liked his little tribute to his daughter at the end for Autumn.
Yeah,
I really liked what he did there.
I was watching. This past week, I've been doing nothing but watching these Zack Snyder interviews and reading these articles, and he kept saying, like, you know, this is for her.
Yeah.
And I think
then they
he
played
said
Hallelujah through the credits. So I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
It was a good way to end it.
It's perfect from start, like, every step of the way. It's just a emotional, like, intense roller coaster, and there was not one flat moment. It was all paced fine for a 4-hour fucking movie too. It was paced perfectly. There wasn't any parts that dragged on too long. No one was underutilized. Everyone had their shining moments, and like you got to see where the villain was coming from. And then redeeming Jared Leto as Joker is a bonus. Because that wasn't even the original plan. Zack Snyder's like, you know what? Let's give this guy a second chance. Let's throw him in there with Batman.
That's the one scene that they like added to the movie,
and that was probably my favorite scene of the movie. Just because I loved how dark and intense, and I was waiting for it. Once it, you know, I was enjoying where it was all going. I was like, you know, I'm rolling with it. Once it got to like epilogue, and I loved the whole like father's second note or whatever when Cyborg's dad's like like you get to hear what he was gonna say before he crunched the recorder.
Right.
I loved all that, but I was like, I'm ready to see what this nightmare scene is, and it made you want to see more into that universe, and then it set up the Injustice League with, and hold on, honestly, I know like we're talking about Jared Leto and everything, I even kind of like Jesse Eisenberg a little bit more. Like with that, I mean, I know they didn't give him much. I didn't like him in Batman vs Superman, but in this, he feels more like Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he did. You know, because he only had like, what was it, like 2 or 3 lines in the Whedon cut.
Yeah.
But, you know, but like I said, you know, they cut that stupid "we should have a league of our own" line.
Yeah, right.
I was very happy they did.
But he made it intense by saying like because you know, like if you know the character of Deathstroke, I know you do. I mean, like everyone watching, like that, you know, he's a hitman, and I forgot like what happened between him and Batman to where he wants to kill Batman, but just like it add more intensity that Lex Luthor told him the identity, so it makes you want to see what's gonna happen between them.
Right.
And I just like how he presented it. I don't know. I mean, from the Superman movies I've seen with Lex Luthor and just like looking into that character, I bought Jesse Eisenberg more as that character. I'm not saying like, oh my God, he was great, but I think it was well done versus what happened. And because Batman vs Superman, he's too we gotta get this done. I'm like he's too quirky. I don't mind quirky, but too fucking much. Yeah. So they did a lot of setting up at the end there. A lot of setting up for.
See, they did. And see, I felt kind of bad for how do you even say his last name? Joe Manganiello.
Manja, yeah. Because everything he was saying about Deathstroke, about how he trained for like 2 years or something. And
now they're not doing his Deathstroke movie that they, that was originally the plan that they were going to do. And I was so excited for that because I love Deathstroke. He's probably one of my favorite villains in the DC universe.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And his new look was fucking badass, by the way. In the nightmare scene with the mohawk and everything. He even came out and said, "This is the look that I felt like he should have had in the original because this is just the way that he kind of carries himself."
Yeah.
He's this. I'd have to go back and look at like the exact quote that he said.
And it's just an interesting point because you could definitely like get a feel for the character just by looking at them. So, and I know that's a whole alternate universe when you look at him in that perspective, but you could tell that character's been through some serious shit just by like he looked like the actor is probably only like in his 40s and he looks like he's like a 60-something-year-old who's been through a lot of fucking shit.
Right.
Even though like it's hard to say because that's only because of what's going on in that world at that time.
Right.
And
and Cyborg has like the same nightmare vision that Bruce did when they were resurrecting Superman.
Yeah,
they showed it.
Are you talking about when they kept like zooming into his eye and then it would show him in the world like where he's wearing his Gotham jacket?
And then they showed dead Wonder Woman and Darkseid was there.
I was wondering what that was. I was like, wait, is that Wonder Woman?
That was him he was having a fucking nightmare vision. And it was, and see that was so cool to me that they actually touched on that because you see her and then you see Darkseid like over her and then you see like the dead Green Lantern like on in everything. I love what they did with him, by the way. And like he didn't, have anything really much in the movie, but it was cool. It was a cool little Easter egg.
It was right.
Put him in there. But I don't know, man. It was so cool to me to have them be like, this is the same thing that Bruce is having.
See, and that's what I mean when this whole nightmare thing is just a puzzle being put together piece by piece in every movie that's all leading to some fucked up thing. It's kind of like I think that's what Zack Snyder was meaning when he was like, this is my end game. Because he said something about like he has like an end game somewhere, like and it was in quotes, meaning like he has like his own version of it, and I think that's what it was. Because how in Infinity War everyone dies and they have to like it's all fucked up, like it's not looking good for any of them. That's what this is for DC, and so there's some big crazy important story that's being put together by the movies we have, and probably just it like just doesn't exist. Unfortunately, that's I'm so interested in it.
Is that this isn't canon, and that sucks.
If they're not gonna make a movie, I hope like they can make like a comic or something or a graphic novel. Yeah. Like I feel like I feel like people deserve to see that story, and Zack Snyder like is writing that story, or he definitely has the entire story thought out. He knows how this whole DC universe ends in his eyes. So hopefully, I don't know, something with it could be utilized, and I think it'd only be fair to him and to everyone else. And hey, at least we got what we got. Got this movie that no one thought would ever happen. So that's why I'm keeping my hopes up a little bit, and just see what happens. All right.
See.
Snyder Cut. If you have HBO Max, go watch it. If you don't like the DC, go watch it. You might change your mind. And I mean, if you're like TJ and I, who are fans of the Whedon cut, and this is gonna, I mean, made me like never want to touch that movie again. Even I was like, if I want to watch Justice League, I'm gonna come back to the Snyder cut. Yeah, no,
you best believe buying that shit on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Oh hell yeah, can't wait. Yeah, and also just like, I think it's just right doing that because that's supporting the movie some more.
Right.
Yeah, because, like, you know, having HBO Max subscriptions is great, but, like, you know, I feel like if you buy the Blu-ray, that really does show support for Zack Snyder, and, yeah, the man deserves it.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, he does.
You know what? I even think, like, and it would probably just be, this is probably far-fetched and maybe a stretch, like, next year, if he got, like, nominated an Oscar just because he did what no other director has done. This is literally history in the making for the movie industry. And like he definitely inspired future filmmakers to be like, hey, you can make what you want. You just like have to, like, he really made a difference. Like, and I saw an article the other day, like, or no, it was yesterday. It was like, tomorrow the Snyder Cut premieres. You're literally watching history being made in this movie industry. A guy who wanted to make something, it was his passion project, and the studios told him no. He's finally releasing it to the public. He's doing something no other director has done before, and I'm like, yeah. And he pulled it off.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please comment below on your thoughts of the Snyder Cut. If you enjoyed it, if you want to see more, what are your speculations for what happened at the end, things like that. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. TJ, thank you for being on here.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, had a lot of great inputs in there. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.
Peace out, guys.